So my name is Chloe Terrell, and I am founder of Stately Property. We have built a multi-million portfolio of assets, and I know you ladies love the numbers, so that's over 26 units now. We generate, multiple six figures of passive income, and I do passive because it still requires some work. Property always requires a little work, but it is as passive as it can be, really. We've built complementary businesses as well. I've built a lettings agency, management assets of, it manages our assets for us, and we have been published in NALA and on the House magazine. We've won awards and been finalists of awards, Business Growth Award, Professional Services Award, Academy Member of the Year Award, and gosh, so much really. I'm so grateful to be here and to be so privileged to do this. And you're probably thinking, yes, but Chloe, you're from Norwich, and that's the farmer country, and you should have a farmer accent, so you're actually quite posh, so maybe you started with a silver spoon or a helping hand, and I just want to say that that is absolutely not the case at all. I am from very humble origins. I was born and raised on a council estate in Kings Lynn. I am from blue-collar workers. My family worked in tinning factories and were auxiliary nurses, non-commissioned RAF. So I've really not come from wealth or privilege at all. Myself, I went to uni, but that was bursary funded because I couldn't afford to pay for my degree. And I'm from an ex-public service background. So I trained as a nurse and then quickly moved into helping health and social care operations within the council. So when I first started property, I wasn't a finance bro. I didn't have like a long contact list of wealthy individuals either. Absolutely everything that we've grown and built has been built from scratch. And I'm so proud of that because I like to think that if I can do it, absolutely anyone can. And I know that's so cliche and you're probably rolling your eyes internally right now. But honestly, I think there's such a big thing around property investment, and you have to have loads of money and you have to be super successful, and it's only for the men. Sorry, men. Sorry, guys. But we are here to claim our space. Women can do this just as well as the men, and it doesn't matter where you start as long as you've got a lot of grit and you keep going, really. You get educated and you have a good support and community around you. There really isn't anything that can stop you. So, if you want to learn about property, my favourite property strategies, then you're in the right room. If you are brand new to this, then my talk is going to help you. We're going to go through so much. But also, if you're already a portfolio owner and you are leaking little bits of money here, there, or it's just draining so much of your time, then I'm going to go into systems, processes, and this is really going to help you too. So hopefully, if you're in that bracket, then this is going to be for you. You're in the right room. If you already have a fleet of Porsches and you've got a yacht and a house in Monaco, then maybe this talk isn't going to be for you, but I would quite like your details because I might be able to help you invest your money. Yes. So, pardon?
There's always further.
There's always, yeah. So, without further ado, would you like to know what gets me so excited about property? Yes or yes? Yeah. Yes, thank you. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about the classic buy, renovate, rent, refinance, but with also a little twist, HMO, which is housing of multiple occupancy. These are my two favourite strategies. Why? Because they're not reinventing the wheel. Anyone can do this as long as you are very strategic and you're targeted and you just have to do it correctly to be able to maximise the money that you put into a property to be able to bring it back out again. So we're going to go through BRR and HMO. That's the key thing here. And why is this so special? Why can this completely transform your life? Well, you take a property with a BRR, you buy it, you renovate it, which creates value, you then refinance it. So you bring the money back out from the equity that you've created within the property, and then you can repeat it again. So you can take this pot of money and you can buy a house, refinance it, and then move that pot of money, buy another one, and buy another one, and buy another one, and the whole thing snowballs. And before you know it, you've got a multi-million portfolio. And you maybe didn't even start. You didn't even want that at the start, but it's how it develops. But it's up to you, like however you want to do that. You could just buy one and do it again once, and then that helps with your retirement fund. Or you could be an empire builder and just keep going and going and going, as long as you do it properly, as long as you do it strategically. And with HMOs, why they're so incredible, housing of multiple occupancy or occupation, is that they are such high cash flowers. So buy-to-lets are amazing because you can do BRR on them and you can maximise your money, you can repeat the process. You can do this too with HMOs, but at that point of refurbishing the property, you can convert it into a HMO. So you change the layout, you change the floor plan, and by doing that, you maximise how much cash you get from the property. So imagine in your mind that you've got a property and it's bringing you, after the refurb and everything, you've done the BRR, lovely, it's bringing you £900 a month. Brilliant, you've got one tenant, £900, thank you very much. But imagine if HMO was applicable in the area, and instead of £900 a month, you now have 5 tenants in this one property, and it's actually generating you £2,800 a month instead of £900. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah. A lot more money, a lot more cash flow, but also you've just de-risked yourself because you don't have one tenant that's paying you, you've got 5. So if one tenant doesn't pay for whatever reason, then you still have your mortgage, you still have your insurance. If you do a HMO model and 1 or 2 or maybe 3 people don't pay you, you might still be profitable, but at least you're not in the loss. So you can still cover all of your expenses, but you're not going to get those bad tenants because we're going to go through the systems and processes. You need to get a good one. So that's why it's really powerful. More cash flow, de-risking yourself. The second thing with BRR, why it's so powerful, BRR, HMOs, is that you have an opportunity for real social positive impact. You think about the news, you think about Taylor Wimpey and Persimmon, they're just going around bulldozing green spaces, they're building, well, suboptimal housing, really, aren't they? The walls are not plumb, and nothing's plumbed in either, really, half of them, the radiator's hanging off, and they're charging you a lot of money. So, as investors, if you can make such a positive social impact by taking housing stock which is uninhabitable at the minute, you're actually bringing more properties back onto the market and you're making money. So you're adding to this housing crisis that we've got. And if you do HMOs, you've got an opportunity to add really beautiful, dignified housing solutions for people who can't yet afford to get onto the ladder. So your students or your young professionals, they can't even afford to buy a house or rent a sole flat alone. So you do a really lovely HMO conversion, you've got en suites, you've got kitchenettes, and they've got dignified living quarters. And again, you're profitable because you're a business. And the third thing, I know you're probably thinking, Chloe, I don't want to manage 1 tenant, let alone 5. It sounds like a headache. Reason why this works is because everything can be process mapped. And that means everything can be systemised, and if it can be systemised, it can be outsourced. So if you get to a point where you really want to snowball this, or maybe you just want a couple but you don't want a headache and you want control and you don't want to pay an agency, you can systemise all of it, the whole process. So you can do this for just a couple of hours a week with our agency anyway. Okay, are you ready to learn how to do this? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay, this is my LEAP model. It's really, really simple. I've tried to keep it simple and I've only got a short amount of time. So do I have your permission to really race through this? Is that okay? Okay. So the first one is location. When you're thinking about BRR, HMOs, location is so, so vital. Why? Because BRRs will pretty much work anywhere because it's buy-to-lets, you have families, you have people always need housing, right? So the BRR model, that will always work. But your target tenant avatar for HMOs is different to a buy-to-let. So you need to know where are the universities in this area, where's the industry, where do people actually want to live? Because a HMO will work really well in a city, but it won't work so well in the sticks. Rental demand. So you need to know what the rental demand is overall in your areas so you can do your calculations, because you don't want to go into this blind. What are we going in? We're going in strategically, aren't we? You need to know your data and your comparisons. Property appreciation and overall ROI. So if you know what the end value of the property is going to be once you've done your refurbishment, then you can actually calculate how much it's going to go up by and what your ROI is, your return on investment. That's what this is. So again, going through comparable data and learning exactly what it is that what you're aiming for, and realistically as well. So it's not a number that you're just plucking from your head. It's something which is real and actionable. Any restrictions in the area, Article 4s. So if there are any restraints on HMOs particularly, there's Article 4s, which mean it's a directive, which means that you can't just do a HMO, you can't just convert a property into a HMO without planning permission. So knowing where the Article 4s are is absolutely vital to know if you can do that model in that area without further planning permission. But if there isn't any Article 4 and there's demand for it, and you've got the right target tenant avatar, then that could mean that your buy-to-let BRR could be a HMO, which is fantastic. And local amenity laws. So each council has amenity laws that you need to go by. So that's why we look at location. And this is how you do it. So you analyse the dynamics. You can use tools. So you can use the open rents, you can use Zooplas, Rightmoves to find out what are things selling for, talk to your agents, research your neighbourhoods. So again, just look at the hubs and the hotspots. Where do people want to live? Check the regulations. So again, going onto your local council website is going to be really beneficial for you, because then you can find out what the licensing requirements are for that area. And also future development as well. And this can be really great because development might bring in more opportunity, might bring in more people into the area. So for example, we've got 2 universities in Norwich, and our second university I think they opened about 40 new courses a couple of years ago, which brought a real surge of students to our city. Fantastic, great for our student HMOs. But also, with the development, it can be the other side. So we've had also multi-purpose blocks of specific student housing being built. So then that counteracts the surge of students coming. So these things you have to bear in mind, what's happening locally, which may affect the microeconomy that you're investing in the short term, but the long term. So these are 2 of our projects. This is a HMO in the city. We bought it, renovated it, rented, refinanced the rooms, the bedrooms. They have en suites. They're done to a really lovely standard, have lots of amenities for them. And we cash flow 27,600 a year. That's quite nice. I'll take that, thank you. And that's a net of 26%. So you think about what your savings are earning you in the bank right now, it's probably like 0.19. Is it that? 0.19. 26% is nice. And for us, we have a free house in 22 months. And again, just going back to what Linda said, property for me is long term. I'm thinking about this. My exit strategy really is death. I'm going to hold these to the end. They're going to keep bringing me money, and also they're going to keep appreciating in value, compound interest year on year on year. So I'm okay with leaving some money in and getting a free house in 2 years. Some people will only do a deal if it's a no money left in deal. They are available, but they're like unicorns, and if you fixate on that, then you're going to lose things like this, which will still propel you forward. And then this is our buy-to-let. So again, this is a family home, and why location is so important. That HMO will not work where this buy-to-let is. This is family area, and this is bringing us in a 30% return on our investment. So what if my chosen location doesn't support my chosen strategy? Do you want to be the guinea pig? Probably not. This is why learning about your area is so important. It might seem boring, but this is the foundation so that you move forward strategically, you make the right smart moves so that your money is really going to just keep rolling forward and keep moving and keep growing as much as you want it to. If you want to try this, this is just a readiness quiz. It's just a bit of fun, really. You can just see where you're at in your journey, what your stage is, and then just find out where you're at. It's just a bit of fun. It's not really anything too serious. And then the second, again, I'm sorry that this is so fast. I have limited time. Are you all okay? Are you keeping with me? Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you. So the second part of the LEAP framework is evaluation. So once you've found your location, you need to evaluate your deal. So deal analysis is crucial, and I love to reverse engineer this. We'll go into this. It ensures that the property meets all of your minimum local requirements. So you've done the background on this, and now you're evaluating on a deal per deal basis. You're reducing your financial risk. If you're evaluating properly and you're doing best case, middle case, worst case scenarios, then you're just de-risking yourself. It's so important to plan ahead for these things because, again, like Linda said, you can make a lot of money in property, but you can also lose a lot if you don't do it properly. And you want to maximise your cash flow, maximise your gross development value. So your GDV, is gross development value, which is the uplift of the property. That's what we call it within investment terms, or property investment terms. So assess your property suitability. You can, for HMOs, you look at your room layout. You want to see about the national minimum room sizes to make sure that you stay legally compliant and that you have the right amenities, because there's so much to HMOs. You can make a ton of money and good cash flow, but there are so many extra things you need to think of and be mindful of to make sure that you're staying within rules and regulations. And there's HMO officers, and I know your company as well also looks at compliance regulations, fire regulations. So much more that you have to think about. It's worth doing, but do it right for sure. Determine your financial feasibility. So you calculate your costs of conversion. We've got spreadsheets that we use for this, and every time we do a deal, we then adapt the spreadsheet, we update it, and we make sure that that it's current, basically, because material costs change all the time. So as long as your information is up to date as well, then again, you're de-risking yourself. Conduct your own risk assessment, identify potential risks, create mitigation strategies, alternative exits. So you want exit 1, refinance, but exit 2, can you sell it at the end? Exit 3, is there someone else that would like this at the end? So you need your alternative exits, and make sure that you're actually building to your target tenants' needs as well. You're not going over the spec, you're not putting marble countertops in for students, but then you're not underdoing it either. So yeah, and then you can explore value add opportunities. So just like Rachel was saying with the title splitting, she's splitting her land and she's building on the side of the land. So you might be finding something which would be a great BRR, or a BRR to title split, or split the land. What other things can you do? How can you get creative? How can you maximise your deal for you and your investors? So again, just a few more case scenarios. Got our buy-to-let there. This is in a village just outside of Norwich. 37% net gross on this one. So that's going to be a free house in 19 months. That's pretty nice. And HMO project again. Now, we cheated on this one because we didn't renovate it. We just bought it cheap and then we made it into a HMO. So again, you don't always have to do BRR. If the deal works, then it works. And this worked for us. So this was a quick get people in, change a few carpets, lick paint, put some furniture in, some nice artwork, and then we've had that renting ever since. So that was a really lovely quick win. Did anybody like some of these? Yes. I thought you might want some of these. If you're doing your evaluation stage, you can download a free property deal checklist. It's just got all the different things that you might be looking at to be mindful of when you are doing your evaluation. Now, evaluation is funny because I think evaluation covers such a broad spectrum of things, doesn't it? And the more that I come into rooms like this, and the more I just research about my heroes, there's always a time where people have evaluated their life, I find. I think people who are entrepreneurs and they're moving forward, there's something, and I'm sure that there's some of you in this room who have stories and something which has made you come here today or start your business, something that has made you evaluate where you are and what you want to do. And for me, that was in 2020 when, how long have I got left? No time. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay. So, oh, that's such a shame. Okay, that's fine. No problem. Well, that's such a shame, ladies. My details are at the bottom here. Let me scroll right back.
To hear that.
Pardon?
We're going to call you back to hear that.
Yeah, okay. So my details are all down here. At the front, there was a QR code if you want to get my details. But yeah, just go on my website and then, yeah, that's it. Sorry about that. I've got so much to tell you about evaluating and processes. Oh, okay. All right, actually, we'll do this because this is important. So 2020, COVID, we can all go back there, can't we? It impacted us in all sorts of ways. 2020, I was working for the council and I was working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And then when COVID hit, we went from Monday to Sunday, 8 till 8. So suddenly we were dealing with all the pressures to try and change the pathway so that people could leave the hospital and be safe in the community. And at the end of that, I just thought, oh my goodness me, I am so glad that that's over. Next year's going to be really, really good. And then November, my dad rang me and he called me and he said that he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer and 5% survival rate. And I'd already started investing in property, and this is a strength, because the next day I called my office and I put my hours down to part-time because property allowed me to supplement my income. So I stayed with him, aided him in palliative care, and a couple of months he passed away. And on the other side of my family, my sister was heavily pregnant, so I think as a bit of a salve, I said, well, it's just the circle of life, you know. My dad has passed, but my niece is arriving. But unfortunately, life doesn't always work that way, does it? And she arrived stillborn. And my two sides of my family, they don't communicate. I'm from a broken home. And unfortunately, they booked the funerals for the same day. So in the morning, I said goodbye to my niece. And in the afternoon, I said goodbye to my dad. And that was the moment, my evaluation moment, which cracked me. And I went, fuck this. I'm actually going to take control of my life. And I've already seen that property could allow me to drop my hours by half. So I'm going to go all in. And I would never recommend to any of my mentees or students that they just drop their hours and they just drop their job and they go in all in. But that's exactly what I did. And I'm okay now. And I'm really glad that I did that, because I took the action that I really needed at that moment in my life. So on that note, and the next bit is about action, I know I can't give you the rest of my presentation tonight, and I would love to, because we're now going to go into exactly what you need to do to act and make this happen, and then we're going into systemising it. But if there is anything that you have taken away from this evening, this motivation, these incredible women, the information, just act upon it. Please, do something for you. Women often don't do anything for ourselves. Do something for you. Make sure that you get financially savvy. Be financially sound. I am here to help you. Morella's got my details, and I'm very, very happy to help you. Go through her, come through me. I'm happy to help as much as possible. Just do something for you. Take the action that you need. Make yourself financially free. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. There we go. That's it.